Hi everyone. Welcome to my first 3D Thursday class. This is my first week. I'm actually going to be doing these once a month, and they're going to be held on the third Thursday of each month. Hi everyone, welcome. So tonight for my first project, I already showed you guys in previous videos. I'm going to be showing you how to create this watering can. Now this is my own original pattern. This is something that I had created for the 3D Thursday team that I belong to. And I also have a free project sheet that goes with this. So once the video is over, just look on my Facebook page. I'll have the post to get the free project sheet. If you're watching this later on YouTube, I'll put the project sheet link in the comments. So what I decided tonight, I'm going to use a different color. I'm going to use the Merry Merlot. And instead of creating a spring watering can, I'm going to create a Christmas watering can. Now, let me bring this back just for a few seconds. If you guys are interested in doing this one the exact same way that I've done it, the stamp sets that you need is the accented blooms, and I use the hello. And then you need the tailored tag punch to punch out the shape. And then for all of the foliage, I use the rooted in nature. So you can see I used like the two leaves right here, and then this flower and this leaf. Oh, and the bigger one too. So if you want to do it the same way I did here, these are the stamp sets that you need. And the color of cardstock is the Mango Melody. So let me show you what we're going to need to create the Christmas watering can. So for cardstock, I'm using Merry Merlot. This one is 8.5 by 4.5, and I'm going to show you how to score that. The piece for the spout, you actually need 2 pieces. And these measured 2.5 by 3/4 of an inch. The inside of the box, which is, I don't know if you can see that from here, the piece that goes directly across in the center, and that's to glue some of the items to. That one measures 4 by 1/2 inch, and then I scored 1/2 inch on both sides, and then it's going to be folded this way like a Z. And the last piece for the watering can is the handle, which is 5 inches by 1/2 inch. We're going to need Whisper White for stamping. Now, because my focus tonight is on the 3D project, I've gone ahead and done all of the stamping and die cutting. So this is what I'm using for my watering can. I think it's going to be so pretty with these colors. So I'm using Flirty Flamingo. Actually, let me bring in the ink pads. Flirty Flamingo, Merry Merlot, Call Me Clover, and Gray Granite are the 4 colors. Now for the stamp sets, I'm using Stylish Christmas. As you can see, I used the poinsettia and the leaves. And then in the Spirited Snowman, I'm using the Winter Cheer Sentiment. Oh, and I did use the little branch from the Rooted in Nature, which I used on my first one also. I like the looks of that branch, so I thought I'd bring it in on this one also. Let me see what else we need. We need the Metallics brads, the Pretty Label punch, and then I've got the Merry Merlot reversible ribbon. This has copper in it also. So it's Merry Merlot and copper. And then we just need little things like the bone folder, the paper piercer, a pencil. So let me get started. So I'm going to use the base of the watering can first. I'm going to bring in my scoring tool. And I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 4.5, and 5.5. So again, 1/2 inch, 1.5, 4.5, and 5.5. And then I'm going to turn this way and score at 1 inch. And that's all the scoring that we need. Now I've gone ahead and done up a little diagram so you can understand better what I'm going to do. Let me actually put something dark underneath so you can see it better. So these are all of the score lines that you see in black. So I'm going to go ahead and fold. Now, as I'm folding this, I know some of you prefer to create cards. And to tell you the truth, when I started stamping a long time ago, I was the same way. I always thought, you know, why do people spend so much time creating 3D projects? Because I had not created 3D projects. And once I started, I couldn't stop. I love the 3D projects. Now, something like this, you give this as a gift and it can be used as a card. Somebody can put this on a shelf to display it, you know, during the spring season, the summer season. And then tonight we're making a Christmas one. So same thing. Okay, so I've gone ahead and folded on all of the score lines. Now I'm going to snip where the tabs are. So you get a small tab and another small tab. Okay, we want this little piece here out of the way. So we're going to snip that off. So anywhere that you see black, where I've scribbled in, that's part of what you need to remove. So I've removed this little section. And then up here where this folds, I'm also going to cut that at an angle just to make it easier for gluing later. And then so that my tabs fold easy, I'm going to just take a little sliver off on each side. So that makes it, I'll put it down so you can see better. See how the shape, you're going to do the same thing on the other tab also. This just helps when you're gluing everything down. So there's my pattern, and this is what it looks like when you've removed all of those black areas that I shaded in. Now I'm going to bring in the tear and tape. And I'm going to add a piece to the small tab. I'm going to take that off. And then I'm just going to fold in like this and fold this one over, and they line up perfectly. So there's the start of the box. Next up, I'm going to add glue to the two small tabs. And I'm going to press this down. And normally what I do is turn it this way, and I use my bone folder and just press down from the inside. Now for this one, I'm going to add 2 rows of tear and tape. So you can see how quickly I've formed my box already. And you'll have my pattern to go by, so I'll be there to help you. Okay, now I've removed that. Press this down, and again, I'm going to hold it just so it lays nice and flat. Okay, and there's the box. Very simple. Okay. Next, I'm going to do the little handle. Now, what I've done, I've pre-cut the ovals. And those are with the layering ovals dies. The largest one measures 2 3/4. The smaller one measures 2 3/8. Now what I did when I cut this, I put it in the big shot, one inside the other. And then I just used washi tape to glue them in place so they wouldn't move. And I actually cut 2 at the same time. I was able to do 2 layers. So that's for the handle. Now what I'm doing with the handle, I'm trying to see if you guys can see. See, there's 2 handles and they're going to be glued together and then glued. What I'm actually doing is making a little wall to glue to my box so it's more stable. So how I did this, I took the oval, I positioned it about where I thought it would go on my box. I used a pencil. So there's my 2 lines. Now I flipped one on the wrong side, put them together. You guys are gonna have a hard time seeing my lines, but there's my first line. What I'm going to do is cut about 1/4 inch longer on both of these. Okay, so we don't need this. Now I'm going to fold on those lines. And no, you don't need an engineering degree to do this. Oh, wait a minute, I should have traced on my other one. I forgot to trace. You'll understand this more when I start gluing it together. Okay, now I'm going to fold this one. And then I add glue to one of the ovals on the 2 tabs. And then we overlap them together. And yes, you're probably going to get glue on your fingers, but that's okay. I'm just going to press them together. Now while that's drying, I'm also going to add just to the outside, because I'm gluing these together. Okay, so there's the wall. Now that I have the score lines. And all I'm going to do is trim up this little mess right here in the center. And that one's okay. I need to press this together just a little bit longer. And then what I'm going to do is add glue. I'm just trying to make these fold properly. I'm going to add glue to these 2 flat ends and glue that to the box. Actually, I'm going to use glue dots for that. And I'm going to press that in place right in the center. Okay, bring in the bone folder. And there's my little handle. And then what I did on this handle, I added a little piece of ribbon. So let me go ahead and do that. Oh, a little bit longer. I'll use that one for something else. I love the copper on this ribbon. It's really shimmery. I might not have cut it long enough again. There we go. Okay, I'm going to tie that a little bit tighter and cut it at an angle. Let me get my ribbon scissors. Okay, so there's the handle. Now we're going to do the same thing with the spout. These are the 2 longest of the steps. Now for the spout, as you can see, I started out with rectangular pieces and I trimmed them to go at an angle. So I'm going to, again, put them together. And I'm just going to take off a sliver, just like that. And then again, I'm going to add one right here. Now when you have a spout, it's not going to be even with the top. It's going to stick up higher, right, to look the right way. So I'm going to add that right there. And again, I'm going to trace. And my line is right here, so I'm going to go 1/4 inch longer. This time I'll fold them at the same time. And again, I'm going to add glue just to one of the folds, or tab, one of the tabs. And And it's going to look like this, like a V. Oops, I went on top of each other. I should have gone this way. I'm going to add glue to that anyway. And then I'm going to snip off the ends to make it nice and flat. And that's where my 1-inch circle comes in. I've already scored it in the center, and then I'm going to fold it. We're going to glue this together. Okay, so there's my little wall that's going to go up against the box. And then here's my little 1-inch circle punch. Now I'm going to add glue to the whole thing because we're gluing to both sides of the spout. And there's my little spout. Isn't that cute? And then I'm going to add glue dots. And when you guys download my instructions, I have pictures to show you all the steps also. Now I have the glue dots. I have 3 right there on the wall, which I'm calling a wall. And that's going right there. Isn't that easy? It's really not hard. Now the only other thing we have left to glue is the little piece that goes on the inside, which I told you I scored at 1/2 inch on each end. So I'm going to add glue on both ends. And that goes inside. And by folding it in opposite directions, this butts up against the end. And then this butts up in the opposite end. So this makes a 3rd wall. Oh, let me push this one in. I just moved it. So you actually have 3 walls to glue your flowers and branches and whatever else to. Now my final step to the watering can is to add a brad. I'm going with silver. And I'm just going to poke a hole right in the middle and also on the handle. I didn't put a brad on the back because I figured most of it is covered with flowers and leaves, so you don't really need to be looking at the back. So now let me just fold the brad in place and then add glue on the end. And then you kind of just flip this over. And there's your little handle. So there's the watering can. How easy was that? And this would make a really cute gift for someone. So now let me bring in the Whisper White. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment using Mary Merlot. And I'm using the Pretty Label punch to cut it out. I don't have a lot of white on my watering can, so I thought the white label would really stand out. Okay, so now we can start building the front. Now what I've done with the poinsettias, I stamped it twice, so you get the darker and the lighter images. I've got 2 sets. And I stamped a whole bunch of leaves, and I hand cut all these leaves. And then the same with the little branches with the die. So let's go ahead and glue the sentiment in place. And that's going to go right in the center. Now I'm keeping the poinsettias. Let me get this glue off my fingers. I'm keeping the poinsettias so I can add them in here. So on the front, I'm just going to add leaves and a few of the little branches. So let me bring in my mini dimensionals. I'm going to glue one of the branches in first. So I haven't made one of these, you guys, so I'm winging it tonight. Let's see how good I can decorate this. So I'm going to put one of the branches right here. And let's see, we'll add one of the holly leaves. I think I'll add one more holly leaf on the other side. And I love these colors together. And then of course with the Flirty Flamingo, that's going to look so good together. Okay, let's see. I'm going to add one more holly leaf. I hope I cut enough. I might end up having to cut more. I think I'm going to add a partial branch right there too. Okay, so that's my front. Now I want to add a few rhinestones. So let's go with about 3 there. I'll bring in my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm going to try to go with silver only because my brad is silver. And I'm sorry I'm not looking up too much tonight. I'm so busy trying to figure this out. So if you guys have questions, I'll go back and answer you once my video is done. Okay, we'll add 3 down there. And I'll add just a few more up here. I'm trying to actually place them the same way I did on my other box. So we'll do 5 more. That one's not silver. My light is hitting really weird here and I'm having a hard time seeing what color these sequins are. Let me see. I'm trying to find some smaller ones too. So how many of you guys like to create 3D projects? I mean, to me, they're so much fun. Oh, where did that sequin go? I just lost one. It's probably stuck on me somewhere. I just think it's great when you can make a 3D project that coordinates with a card. People just love that stuff. Okay, 2 more. Thanks for your patience. Oh, that one's upside down. Now that one's going to be a little tacky when it dries, but what I'll do is I'll use my embossing buddy and I'll just tap on it. And the powder from the embossing buddy will remove that stickiness. 1 more. Okay, so that's the front so far. Now let's see what we can do with the rest of this. So what I want to do is, because the flowers are longer on one end like that, I'm going to actually overlap them this way. So let me get my stamping dimensionals. And I'm going to overlap them so some of the darker color peeks through. And then I'm going to glue one in the back. Okay, so there's one. And I'll do the same thing with this one. So 3D projects can be a little bit more challenging. I think that's why I like to make them so much. Now try to remember, if you make one of these, that you don't add glue everywhere because you don't want the glue showing in the back. Okay, now this one, I'm going to bring it a little bit lower so you can see the one in the back. Okay, so there's my 2 poinsettias. Now let's see what else we can do. I'm thinking maybe a branch right there. This is making me a little nervous that I don't have one of these to go by. I hope it's going to come out all right. And I think what I'm going to do is add one of the poinsettia leaves in back of this flower. Where's my bone folder? So I'm trying to make some of the green peek through over to the Flirty Flamingo, so that looks pretty good. Now all I have left is the smaller flowers, or the holly leaves. So let's see, we'll add some, let me think for a minute. I should have added glue to the front of it so I could tuck it in. Okay, I'm gonna leave that one there. Now I'm going to glue a little bit towards the front. And I've got one more flower, or one more branch that I can use too. So let me add that to the front. Maybe right here. So you can see how it's coming together real nicely. Okay, I see where I need some more green right behind here. Look at me, I have sequins all over. They're sticking all over me. Okay, that one looks funny. I need to bring it down some. Okay, let me see if I can use up the remainder. I have 2 leaves left. So maybe if we do a cluster on this one. Where are all these sequins coming from? And let's see, I'm gonna stick this one right behind the handle like that. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. What do you guys think? Is that neat or what? Which one's your favorite one? I still think I like this one, but I still think because of the bright colors I used on this one, I really like that one. And I can still keep playing with this one too. Whoops, my sequin moved right here. Okay, so that's it for tonight, guys. That's my 3D project for you. So just check back after my video post in a couple minutes, and I'll have the link to the free project sheet. And if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, look, I found one more branch, so I'll stick that in there somewhere too. Probably back here. I need something right there. So I'll glue that in place, and then I'll have pictures to show you once everything has been photographed. So what's coming up? I have, if you joined me last night, I did my Dashing Along series to show you the Dashing Along promotion. And then these were the 3 cards that I created last night. I'm going to be showing you 3 more cards on Sunday. And I also wanted to show you a small note card that I made for a challenge that I entered. This is our narrow note cards. So I used the same products that I used on these cards. And this is just a tiny little card with a matching envelope that I added to the flap. So Sunday I'm going to be showing you 3 more cards using this designer paper, and I'll be on at 7:00 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll see you guys on Sunday, and thanks so much for joining me tonight. Have a good night.